P-47 Phantom Fighter is a sprite-based horizontal shmup developed and published by Jaleco in 1988 for arcade. It was then released to the PC Engine in 1989. The version I'll be reviewing is the arcade version. The backgrounds are not bad at all. Some stages even have multiple levels of scrolling in the backgrounds, which is very nice to see. The enemies repeat on every level, but they don't suffer from being just circles and squares. The entire game has a very World War II-esque style going for it, so expect the enemies to be all planes, ships, and tanks for the most part. The bullets are fairly easy to see except on the sunset level. It can be very tough to see your own bullets and the enemy bullets since the color of the bullets matches the background a little too well. The sound effects are very mediocre. The only sound effects I can think of off the top of my head that you can hear is a single explosion sound, you shooting bullets, you dropping bombs, and when you pick up items. Those are really the only ones that I can remember, and the sound themselves of them happening is just mediocre at best. The music had a few pieces I liked, but for the most part, all of the songs are forgettable. The ones that did stand out sounded like they were ripped from Castlevania. I know I sound harsh on a game that came out in 1988, but we have to think of all the other games that came out in the arcades at that time. Even compared to those other games, well, even most games, the sound and music just are not all that good here. The gameplay is simple. You have two buttons, shoot and special. Some specials will auto-fire by holding in the button, and some you need to keep hitting the button, like the bombs. When you collect the special that you're already using, it'll upgrade. You can upgrade your special 3 times. If you die, you lose an upgrade. You can hold in the main fire button the entire time as well if you want. The game then becomes a matter of just finding out what special weapon to use in what condition. For the most part, if you can see the ground, it's advised to just use the bomb. In this game, you are really not dodging bullets except for the bosses. In P-47, you will mostly be dodging enemies who fly at you. Some of the later levels will completely fill the screen with enemies. You also need to keep in mind that in this game, your hitbox is massive, so pretty much assume that if anything gets near your plane, it will kill you. Also, this game is only 4 stages long, but once you beat all 4 stages, you go on with the next loop where the game gets progressively harder. For the scoring system, it is all about kills. Also, after each stage, you will get bonus points which can help you out with your score. The gameplay in P-47 is really all about points. There is no end to the game. This is how many classic arcade games work. While it is simple, it is very fun, yet it does not forget to challenge you around every corner. The bosses follow the theme of the rest of the game and have a very World War II-esque style. There are no mysteries about the bosses. You might be fighting a train or a giant plane, or even a massive battleship. This will be one of the few times in the game where you will actually be dodging bullets far more than just dodging enemies. In later loops, you'll have to dodge all the bullets from the bosses as well as bullets from the enemies at the same time. Most of the bullet patterns are generic and do not shoot directly at you very often. The bosses are very fun and present a good challenge even in the first loop. P-47 Phantom Fighter might be obscure, but it is very fun. It challenges me every step of the way, but in a good way. What makes this game even better is that the more you play it, the harder it gets from additional loops. This game is all about getting a high score and that's it, just like many classic arcade games. If you are all about getting a high score and want a challenge, then I recommend this game. If those do not interest you, then I would say you should avoid this game since there are much better games you can get for the money it will cost you to get this one. Me, personally, I found it to be a very fun and challenging game, so I recommend it.